So I've decided that I'm going to start opening up my videos with a joke. So here we go. This is new. So I saw this pirate walking around town, and he had a paper towel on his head. So I asked him, "What's up with the paper towel?" And he said, "Arr, I got a bounty on me head." So in lieu of like the continuing nostalgia year, I don't exactly know what to call it, because it started in November and it's just kind of kept going. I am going to tell you about things that I remember from when I was younger than I am right now. My final story for today comes from 8th grade, which was the first year that I went to like actual school instead of being homeschooled. And the thing that you have to realize about me as an 8th grader is that, you know, those middle schoolers that you see sometimes, and you know, they've got their shirts tucked in and their pants are too high and they're a little bit too loud and they don't know when to shut up. And you just feel like a little bit bad for them because you can see the looks that everybody else is giving them, but they can't. That was me in 8th grade. I had life science with Mrs. Myers, 4th period, and to introduce the cell part of the curriculum, she had this thing where we had to design a sub, like a submarine. And so, you know, you kind of get the parallel, like they both like float around and they're both self-sustaining. And so we had to do that, and we had to design this sub. And it had to have, like, there were certain things that it had to have. Like, it had to have a way to, like, move itself like a propeller of some sort, and have a way to produce food, get rid of waste, like, you know, stuff like that. We had to do this project, and it was a group project, and this is probably the reason why I hate group projects with such a passion. But for whatever reason, I wasn't at school. I missed school the day that we picked partners. So I come into school the next day, and I get paired up with the only person left. She doesn't have a partner. This person is going to remain nameless. But you see, the first thing that happened when we got handed like our piece of paper for the subs was they drew a line down the middle of it, and they were like, this half is my half and this half is your half. And I think that's about the extent of the communication that went on during this project. And so I'm watching them do it, and I'm starting to work on my part. And I realize that the stuff that, like the parameters, like the basic things that we had to have to get a good grade, they're not putting them in. And so I look down at my paper and I'm like, well, crap, I guess that means that I have to put it all in on my side. So we have to present it in front of the class, and we get to the point where it's done, and you know, all the stuff is on my side, and I had like this little broom closet of a bedroom which I tacked on as an afterthought because it was like, oh, I should probably have some place to sleep, shouldn't I? And maybe I had like a library or something else, like I had something little, but most of it was devoted to like the stuff that we had to have on the sub. You can tell that this sub was like created by two people who didn't have like any sort of collaboration going on, because their side was like all was really nicely colored in, and it was pretty, it had colored pencils, and mine was done like essentially in graphite and Sharpie because I was just trying to get the dang thing done. And so we get up in front of the class, and their side has all of this cool nifty stuff on it, and my side is like, you know, the stuff that we had to do, and so it's really boring. And so I get up there, and they present their side, and then I have to present all of my side, and so I sit down feeling like, you know, the retarded reject child. And it was just, it was a bad time. Although it's worth noting that Mrs. Myers called me up later, I think, and she was like, so you did all of the necessary stuff, didn't you? And I was like, yeah, I did. And so I forget whether she talked to my partner or whether she just actually graded the two parts of the sub separately or what happened, but I took a sort of vindictive pleasure from that. So, I mean, I'm not exactly completely in the right either, but, you know, that was just, yeah. So, yeah. Yay, nostalgia year, month, week, whatever it is. I don't even know. DFTBA. A piece of trivia for people who have been to my house. You know my living room? There used to be a really big piece of carpet in the floor in the living room. Like, it's all parquet now, but it didn't used to be all parquet.